Welcome to another episode of It's Debatable. I'm your host today, Sebastian, here with co-host Justin, and we are talking NBA basketball. Currently, right now, we are preparing for All-Star Weekend going down this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just wanted to wrap up just the midseason with you guys. I just want to start by asking Justin, how you feel about the season thus far, leading up into the All-Star break?
Um, see, the season's been okay. I feel that just with the Western Conference, I feel like over the last decade, you could say 2 decades, right? It's just been the more predominant conference. With teams like the Nuggets, the Lakers, Houston, OKC, right? Spurs, all of these great teams. I feel like that's where a lot of people's minds go to, right? We all know with the injuries this season, just with the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. Um, people was just feeling like, bless you, people was feeling like, the Knicks were just gonna have a cakewalk to the playoffs, and then it just a easy way to the finals. And as the season progresses, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Let me also say, and we might have said this before, I don't even know. But the Indiana Pacers are going to be a sneaky team next season, not this season. I really, once again, love that pickup of Ivica Zubac, right? After them losing Miles Turner, now you're gonna got a big man that actually likes to play like a big man. Now can't stretch the floor. We'll see how that affects the team next season. But I don't know. Over the last couple of days, I've really been thinking about that acquisition by them. I just think that was just a very smart pickup. But back to the main topic. Overall though, the season thus far, I will give it like a 7 out of 10. It hasn't been nothing too crazy. We spoke about on our last NFL Super Bowl recap. To end the show, a little bit about the fights that have been happening, or I get you put quotations around fights. I definitely think that just brings a certain type of energy. That's definitely things I like to see. Just the craziness in my mind. It was also interesting to see. The suspensions was given out, and we seen the max was only I believe six games, right, issued to Isaiah Stewart. Right, comparing that to when David Stern was here, that's basically like a slap on the wrist. So it's very interesting how that played out. Also heard things about today. Things are heating up with the board of governors trying to do these expansion teams. I'm hearing that Seattle and Vegas is the two top teams really trying to fight for that. That would be very interesting. But overall, the season has been okay. Second half is about to come. No, I don't really give a damn about the All Star break, and that's odd for me to say. I feel like as a kid growing up, the All Star game was something you always look forward to. That's when you've seen the top talent all going at it. Even though the dunk contest, we all go back to that 2016 year, right, with Aaron Gordon and Zach Levine, but you can even go years prior. Um, Now it's just not the same. I seen that they actually took away the skills competition, probably at that disaster that they did last year. Um, but yeah, second half of the season, that's where teams really start to ramp it up. And it's gonna be interesting to see how teams jockey for position, whether for lottery position or playoff position. So yeah, overall, it's been okay though.
Uh, I agree to your point as well. More so for the fact that our star players hasn't necessarily been playing due to a bunch of injuries. With guys like Luka Doncic missing time, Shea Gilgeous missing time now, Jokic missing time now, and Embiid missing time. I feel like our star players over these past couple seasons hasn't really, well, I wouldn't necessarily say our star, but like the newer generation of star players that we have hasn't really lived up to the hype of just the matchups that we supposed to have every night. Like I remember a point in time in the league, we would get a Joel Embiid versus a Nikola Jokic. That would be like our who's the best big man in the league? Our Wemby's versus Jokic, Wemby's versus Embiid. I feel like we don't get these type of marquee matchups anymore. Back in the days, we would get a matchup like KD versus LeBron, KD versus like what a Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Like just valuable matchups that we see. Time and time again, we'll see the older heads. They'll match up Braun versus KD, still Braun versus Kawhi. But I feel like for our new generation, though, we're just missing that substance of every night is a challenge ahead of you, and I feel like that's what the game has been missing thus far. For the most part this season, though, I like the upbringing of a new generation of a new talents. Like you see guys having breakout seasons like Dylan Brooks, Denny Avia, Michael Porter show flashes of what he could do by himself. We're looking at guys still that play at the highest level, and Anthony Edwards. I just feel like we're just missing some stars, a star actually, that take over the league when the time is right. Because I think that LeBron James being just the face of the league, the household name, is going to be a hit once he leaves. Now somebody has to be that marquee box office guy day in and day out that just defines what success in the NBA is. I think we need a consistent winner. We need a dominant player in this league. When I look at it, we have talent, but I don't think we have the dominant player in the league that,
I
like
don't think I don't think that's I don't see that happening.
like
That's cool to have that conversation. So we could all just name names of people, but really saying when you say a LeBron or a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, right? It's where there was the clear cut best in the NBA hand. I don't think we're gonna get that. Number one, I think there's too much talent. Um, Number two, the whole NBA doesn't take the regular season serious. And three, I don't think there's a huge gap between these talented players. How much is Luca better than Anthony Edwards? Right?
Edwards.
How much is a Wimby or a Jokic better than a Wimby? I feel like back in the day, right? You can say LeBron was a clear cut because the whole league was top heavy and there wasn't that much of comparisons to make, right? When Kobe Bryant was the guy, when Shaquille O'Neal was the guy, and Michael Jordan, there was just less and less talent. It was just kind of clear. Now it's like we could name 10 people right now that we could say is the best player in the NBA. You couldn't do that in 1998.
No, I
You
agree.
just you just couldn't do it, so I don't think we're going to have that. It's cool. It's cool just to say, well, who's going to be the face of the? No, but there's not going to be a face of the NBA. There's going to be a group of people who are the best players, and that's going to be that. There will not be a face of the NBA. One, because no one wants to do it, and two, no one cares about the regular season.
Yeah, no, I agree to that. But I think where I come from with that, with just being the face and representation of the league, I think a lot goes into play like accolades, like who's going to dominate this era of basketball to where they get the most rings out of a talented group of players, though. You know what I'm saying?
Tim
Like,
Dunk, but look, Tim Duncan had a whole bunch of accolades. He wasn't the face of the league.
yeah, but think about it like this:
The
LeBron.
face of the league is on and off the court. It's not just you getting accolades like that. That's never what the face of the NBA was.
Hear me out though. So if we're talking marketable wise and just having a lot of accolades, LeBron James in his tenure in the NBA had racked up how mad MVPs. There was undeniably that he could have been the best. How much MVPs Bron has? Like what, 4 or 5? That's the one accolade. Then you add championships. Then it's just like all NBAs. Like I feel like your accolades can make you undeniable too. And so I feel like if we're racking up like championships, MVPs, like that's why I'm saying this shit should matter to a certain extent, though. It shouldn't be though. I'm gonna just wait to the playoffs, though. The regular season should do something to your legacy.
I feel like you're just talking for the old NBA. We also gotta remember things aren't going to be the same forever. Things evolve and things change. That's just not what the NBA is. It's not. Like, I mean, you can keep hoping for it and saying it, but what are they showing you? What like I remember I think it was last season people talked about this whole face of the NBA when it was the most popular thing from the media to say. I think Anthony Edwards was asked about it. He said he didn't want to be the face of the NBA. So what like are we not gonna force somebody to do it? That back in the day, people just took this craft a little more serious. That's why I say today this NBA is soft. It's all about cents and dollars now. And it's all about the playoffs. Adam Silver tried to implement this in season tournament. It's cool for about a week, and then people move on. The next one, the in season tournament. Who's still talking about it?
Yeah, nobody talks about that.
It's dead because right after that they started struggling. Right? The it has turned into a popularity contest, and how can we just be ready for the playoffs, right? Because now what's also happened, right, is everyone tries to judge people, right, off championships. Right? It's just, well, did you win? Well, how many do you have? And how close are you to this person? So that's why now all these people just trying to get to the playoffs, because all this regular season stuff, people like to push that to the side, right? People talk about James Harden, one of the best regular season players ever. We remember those Houston years to where he was killing in the regular season. But what do people say right now? He don't win at the highest level. These now new generation coming in, they seen that. So do you think they care? No, they're trying to build how many championships can they get and try to put themselves in the best position.
I am mad at that too. I think that okay, if we're competing for a championship, but there's steps along the way too to cement yourself in being a champion. Though. And I think some people set aside the regular season to play around. Then when it comes time to the playoffs to find themselves, they struggle in that aspect too. So I think the regular season is just not just something that we just bypass or we wait to get to the playoffs to figure it out. I think some people should take some serious steps in the regular season in order to really hone their craft. And like I think like a guy like Jalen Brown, I use him as a good example. That year when Game 7 against Miami, where he folded, he said himself though he just overthought the game too much and he struggled, couldn't dribble with his left, couldn't do nothing. He said he took that and then he brought it into a learning experience into the regular season, and that's what helped him prevail to be a champion the next season. I look at somebody like that takes the regular season as chances to get better, to get more comfortable in their game in the playoffs. So when I look at a guy like Jalen Brown, like I think of somebody like that. If he was a little bit more marketable, and this is going to lead us into our midseason predictions though, because I definitely feel like he's been playing at a high level. I think like somebody like that has the right attitude though might just be blackballed by Nike because of his comments and just how he thinks in today's society, which I have nothing against, by the way. But I think that Jalen Brown, if he was like a Nike athlete or an Adidas athlete, they would have pushed the agenda for him to be MVP a long time ago in the season, though, because just what he's able to do and how he takes the regular season seriously, especially being a number one option now. I think a lot of people could learn after that. I think certain teams can mold after that. Like even a guy like Cade Cunningham. And I know he's just finding all this newfound success being first in the East, maybe a first team on NBA, stuff like that. I think somebody that he walks into the season takes it seriously, especially after a bad loss against the Knicks last postseason. He's taking it more seriously. I think a lot of guys, to you said, we coast to the playoffs now because we want to save our body for the best though. But when you're not building the correct habits in the regular season, you're not taking note of your competition. When you're sitting out, when you got to face a guy that you're gonna most likely play in the playoffs. Like if I'm a who's the best example I could use? Not to bring anybody down though. Like you get what I'm saying though. But if I'm a Luka Doncic, I'll say that. No offense to Luka though, by the way. And I'm sitting out in these marquee matchup games against Houston Rockets, to where I might see a Kevin Durant-ish player, a Men Thompson type of player in the playoffs, or I'm sitting out against a Minnesota game. I want to get a pause. I want to get a feel of this team and these players. So when it comes to the postseason, I know I study a little bit harder. Like I look at a guy like Kobe Bryant, always film studying in this case situation. He lives to play those games. You know what I'm saying though? And like we said, to your point as well, I feel like I'm just running around in circles saying it. It's the new generation. If I have an ankle soreness, I'm not gonna play though. Back in the days, an ankle soreness is not gonna see me. Like if I gotta go see Tracy McGrady on a Tuesday night, even though it's not a fucking or a national TV game, I'm standing up for that matchup because I know later on in the postseason, I'm most likely to have to see him. I'm not going to prepare myself. I'm not going to sit out and try to be 100% healthy. You're never going to be 100% healthy in the NBA. It's a wear and tear game. You play 82 games in the season. If I was them, I'll probably take a game to where I'm playing against a tanking team at home. But more so though, I feel as the fact that teams right now are just trying to save their investments. This goes on management too as well. I think certain players has to take the initiative that I need to play this game against a certain player because I know I'm gonna see him down the line. This game is very imperative. Like you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's just more of a team thing, and I feel like, we got to look at the San Antonio Spurs for what they did years ago when, Greg Popovich on marquee games would sit, his starting four, the Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili type thing, and sit them, right? And they were fine for that. And that seemed new, right? Back in 2020, like the 2012-ish, 2013, like over a decade ago. And now look what it has turned into to now load management is just the new thing. And like I said, I just don't see it changing right now. I just think this is the new normal, and we're just gonna have to be used to it.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so that was a good conversation to start off the show. Um, so moving on, we have a bunch of awards that's going to be handed later on within the season. I just think that right now we should just give our predictions on who wins what. So we're just gonna go straight to it. We're gonna start off with just rookie of the year. I believe in the beginning of the season we had our votes. I had Cooper Flag. You had Ace Bailey. What are your thoughts right now? Who do you think should win rookie of the year?
Based off what I've seen so far, I'll say Con Knuckle, Con Knuckle, whatever his name is. But the dude from Charlotte, white boy, I like what I see from him. He plays fearless. I really enjoyed to see what I seen when he played the Dallas Mavericks about a week ago or so, going up against Cooper Flag, his former teammate, and they both put on those performances. He had 30 plus. Cooper Flag had 40 plus. Yes, Cooper Flag is the sexy pick because it's really his team. Colin Knippel doesn't run the Charlotte Hornets is still LaMelo Ball's team for the most part, right? I'm pretty sure Brandon Miller has the next say so on that, and then Khan. But I just love what I see from him. He takes his defensive assignments seriously. He is a knockdown shooter, can put the ball on the floor. Just a great team guy. I like what I seen to where they was on some type of road trip and they was in Milwaukee and he invited the whole team over to his house. I like seeing things like that. I'll be interested to see if he wasn't at Cooper Flag position to where he was the number one option and he could literally just do whatever he wants. I think him and Cooper would probably be neck and neck. Now I feel like these awards a lot of time are media driven, so I feel like Cooper Flax is gonna win it regardless. But if we're talking impact and projection, what was what people seen at the beginning of the season? Yes, some people felt like Colin Knuckle had game to him, but to the height he's reached thus far, and just I feel his spirit and how that's transcended just into this Charlotte Hornets just new type of right energy, right? We seen that they was on a winning streak just just the other week until it got snapped by the Pistons, I believe. But I just like what I see from him. And right now I would have to say for me, if I had to vote, I'm voting for Knuckle.
Yeah. Told you about that, boy. I
Right.
told you sometimes you need the odd fit to make it in. Um, you know, I have all praises for Conker Nipple though. I definitely felt like he has the talent. Struggled a little in the summer league too, and then everybody was saying, "Was this the right pick? Was this the right pick?" Though, but summer league and the league is just getting your feet wet, getting your feet into the ground, and Conker Nipple has taken off. Definitely has been a game changer for this franchise though. I think just the versatility that he brings offensively, not needing the ball too much, always ready to catch and shoot, moving without the ball, taking limited dribbles when he has to. Kind of reminds you of like sort of a Clay Thompson type of game, JJ Redick type of game, to where you don't need to have a full bag or just get to your spots. I just think that the game just comes simple to him. He doesn't try to force anything. Looks natural. So in the future upcoming years too, when he actually hones his craft and perfects his craft, it's gonna be scary to see though. But yeah, shout out to Con Knuckle though. But I have to go and stick with my pick in Cooper Flag. I just think that this kid right now has all the responsibilities in the world. Although being Dallas is struggling though, he's took it upon himself to really find his game right now. I've seen him a streak of him having at least 4 to 5 straight games of 30 plus. I think just the fact that the defense is honing on him as a number one option, he's learning to find himself in this system. Not even in the system, in the NBA, he's finding what works for him and what he still needs to work on. I like how he's been very aggressive. I like how he facilitates the offense from time to time too, as well. Jason Kidd has him. One thing about Jason Kidd, Jason Kidd has this thing to where every time he has like a big guard, like a big forward, he likes to put them in the point guard spot. I don't think Cooper Flag is a natural point guard. I think you're teaching him to be a facilitator, but a point guard is not his role, though. I remember he did that with Giannis at his point when it's standing in Milwaukee, though. Definitely did help Giannis become a better facilitator, though. But in the long run, no, Cooper Flag is not a point guard, though. He's not a point guard though, but for what he's doing right now, though, number wise, stats wise, is the only to win it though. But it's definitely looked good on paper though, and that's for the media voters. When you look at it, they're looking at it as this. Oh, he's putting up 30. He's putting up 30. But so yeah, if we're going media wise though, impact wise, I would say Concanipa though, just for the fact of what he's able to do with his team right now though. I think if they don't have him, they don't have this type of success. I'm gonna be honest. I think drafting Concanipa was the game changer for this Hornets franchise, though, because we've seen it time and time again. You still have the talent. You still have Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges.
Well, well, to an extent, LaMelo Ball also has been getting injured every season, missing a whole bunch of games. So having LaMelo there to actually play has also helped them.
Yeah, but at a point in time, though, when LaMelo was struggling in the first half of the season, and they was benching him and Concanipa was out there, they were going on these very good runs too, while LaMelo was sitting down too. I think, after a while though, just hearing what the media has to say is, oh, they should trade him, they should trade him. I think LaMelo actually locked in. I think we're seeing a different LaMelo than from the first beginning of the season. I think he takes pride now in this being more of a vocal leader and demanding just, a certain type of excellence on the court too. I think we've seen LaMelo's growth in this win streak too. Just overall for the Hornets, I think we've seen the growth, and I'm gonna give Concanipa that praise. I think that's really what was the game changer for them too. But I'm gonna have to go Cooper Flag on this. But it's gonna be a tight race. I did see that Cooper Flag is going to be out for the Rising Star, and I don't know how long that leads into post All Star break though. So I think Concanipa has a chance to really just run away with the award. I wouldn't even be mad at it though. Whoever wins, I think is deservingly so. It's been neck and neck throughout the whole season. I think both players are averaging around 19 points, 20 points. Yeah. And the crazy part is they're both Duke products. They both literally played with each other last year on that same Duke team though. So watching Cooper Flag and I'm not surprised at this. I definitely do think they're two special talents. And I fuck with it. But anything else you want to say on this the rookie of the year race?
Yeah, so I'm officially declaring that I will be a Cooper Flag hater. Just as Skip Bayless does to LeBron James for absolutely no reason, I'm going to do that to Cooper Flag. I'm just not really a fan. And until he wins a championship, I'm gonna hate, and then even after he does win a championship, I'm gonna continue to hate on Cooper Flag. So I just want that on the record. Thank you.
Fair enough, man. You can't like everything, right? You gotta hate on some things though. But moving on, we got most improved player of the year. Couple names come to mind. Um, I feel like the media is gonna just stick with who they want to stick with though, but I think there's a lot of
Well,
those.
well, well. Please just give your pick and not name 10 people, please. Thank you.
Excuse me.
You farted.
Like I was saying, so I was really interrupted. Like, yeah, I think there's a bunch of players that's deservingly so though, but the media's gonna stick with. My pick. Uh, as I'm going through the season, though, I'm gonna have to say Dylan Brooks to me. I think just the leap that he's had from last year to this year is a little bit more so interesting because watching him this year, he's taking more initiative on offense. He's definitely worked on his game a lot. Every time I see him, he's very aggressive in shot hunting. This is a different Dylan Brooks than we've seen past in Houston and in Memphis. I think now he's more comfortable in his game getting to his spots. I don't think he forces himself to do things that he doesn't need to do necessarily. Like back then, I remember I used to see Dylan Brooks taking crazy ass threes, saying, "Do you work on that?" Now I think he finds himself more so working in the post, getting his mid range, getting to the spots. If he has an open three, he'll take it. If it's the right shot, he'll take it. His game doesn't look as forced as it used to. I think he's more found in his craft. Moving up into around the 20, averaging around 21, 22 points per game. I definitely do think that he should have got an all-star nod with all these players been injured. But for me, hands down, Dylan Brooks.
Okay. Shout out to Dylan Brooks. That would have been my pick, but just for the sake of argument, I'll say Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks. I definitely feel like he's just taking his game just to a whole nother level. I had no idea he could do any of the things that he's even doing. Just a triple double threat where can rebound and pass the ball, can score it. I think if he becomes a better 3-point shooter, he can become a top 10 player within the NBA. I just like what I seen with what he's done with the Atlanta Hawks. Whether Trey Young was in the lineup or not, his game just never changed. He's gonna do also a lot of the dirty work. Young dude, so he can still continue to get even better. But him just taking on really that number one option role over there in Atlanta, right? Even over people like a Zachary Ricochet, who was the number one overall. Wait, was he right? I'm tripping. Number one,
Overall pick.
right?
That
So
might
and
be the least covered overall number one overall pick ever.
right, right.
Like even
So
Anthony Bennett had some media coverage.
who?
Yep. Yep.
But like I was saying, just him taking over the reins as that number one option and just having a seamless transition of doing that, I would have to give him just most improved.
I am mad at that though. I am a fan of Jalen Johnson's game, and especially watching the development throughout the years. That's becoming more. When he first started, he just gave me flashes of, oh, this is just a backup John Collins. This is like a John Collins 2.0. But then when you actually let him show his whole repertoire, his whole bag, you see there's more to offer. That's a point forward, and that's somebody that could do it all for them. And that's why they pulled the trigger on the Trey Young experiment, and they let Jalen Johnson get the key. So I definitely do like that pick. Um, Moving on, we got defensive player of the year. Um, my least favorite award though, because I feel like it's a very repetitive award. I feel like every year we find ourselves in the mix of Rudy Gobert winning it. So I just want to get your pick on who do you have for defensive player of the year.
Yeah, we can say the easy answer and say Victor Wembanyama. But just to throw a curveball, I'll say Jalen Duren from the Detroit Pistons. Just what he can do on the offensive glass, right? Just getting his team a whole bunch of extra possessions. Him also just being able to protect the rim, only being at like 6'9", 6'10". Um, I feel like that besides him and Isaiah Stewart, those are the real type of defenders that the Pistons got down low. So once again, him just being undersized, I love the energy that he plays with. Tries his best just to make sure that no easy baskets are being taken. And yeah, just as of right now, now he's not going to win because Victor Wembanyama is going to win. I don't got too much to say, but just to throw some different names out there, I do like Jalen Durant. Once again, especially just for that offensive rebounding, which yes, to everybody out there, that is a part of defense. All right, you have to get the rebound to close out the possession. Go ahead, Sam.
Mm, I'm gonna throw you a different name. I'm gonna go for defensive player of the year. I think we should give a little more nod to Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes, what he's able to do, guarding from that 1 through 5, I think is very special. If you're talking about somebody that can guard the perimeter, that could play passing lanes, that could block shots, that could deny bigs from getting into the post, I think he's played a major part and just the resurgence of the Toronto Raptors being a better team this year too as well. I know we give praise to Brandon Ingram for what he's been able to do special, being special on the offensive end, but Scotty Barnes just defensively is a menace. I think no matter if it's the point guard he's guarding or forward he's guarding, no, he's gonna make it a tough night for them. I've seen a lot of times to where Scotty Barnes just changes the game within 3 possessions and just moving laterally defensively, getting into them passing lanes and just pushing the pace offensively for the Toronto Raptors. When I think of that, I think of versatility. I think that goes a long way defensively, though. I know we give guys like Wemby and Rudy Gobert those praises, deservingly so. When you're able to block shots at a high rate, people are running away from the basket because they don't want to get their shot blocked from you. Deservingly so, though. But I think just the versatility of defense that Scotty Barnes brings, not too much people can do in today's NBA. I know we have the Men Thompson of the world, the Sar Thompsons of the world, the Derek Whites of the world, but Scotty Barnes, I feel like, does it at the high level defensively and just being able to guard that 1 through 5, though. So I would just have to give my nod to Scotty Barnes on just what he's able to do defensively on that court.
Okay.
But more than likely, so we're going Wemby, right?
Well, no, that's what will actually win the award, but I didn't just want to say Victor Wembanyama. It's kind of self-explanatory of what he does on the defensive end. So,
Yeah,
shout out to Wemby.
I ain't mad at it. Moving on, we got Coach of the Year. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? I haven't seen no coaches that really wowed me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I would like to, yeah, I would like to hear your predictions for who is Coach of the Year.
I'll just be biased and say JJ Redick. Nothing for even too much on the court. Just for him to still have the amount of hair that he still has, just coaching the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Just due to the media scrutiny that the Lakers could win 10 straight, but then lose one, and then people will say, well, what's wrong with the Los Angeles Lakers? But if another team was to do that, they'll just sweep it right under the rug. So just dealing with that, having to deal with, I'm pretty sure, two type of egos, right? And I'm not saying like a selfish ego, but just knowing who you are, right? Of dealing with the Luka Doncic and a LeBron James. That's probably not easy. A lot of the times, probably two players who feel like they understand the X's and O's more than you. So to try to coach this team and try to gain the respect of these players, um, I gotta give him respect for that. And also, even though the Lakers have lost their last two games, once again, asterisk Luca has not been playing. LeBron also, I think, at least missed one of those last 2 games. But just with all the injuries, with Luca, LeBron, Austin Reeves, to still be 10 games over 500, to still be out of the play-in, I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him credit for that. Um, I also love a coach that speaks his mind to the media, and I always see JJ Redick just saying how he feels. So just due to all that stuff, just being a coach of the Lakers, and a LeBron coach, to where that's another job in itself, I will give him the mid-season coach of the year.
My mid-season Coach of the Year. Maybe say this, Joe Mazzulla. I think just the work that Joe Mazzulla has done with this team, with a revamped roster and not in a positive way, though, just them trying to figure themselves out with the loss of Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Cornett. The list goes on. They had a championship team, though. Just not being able to pay everybody, having to cut them. They had to find themselves with a bunch of players that are not so sure. This has basically been their G League team. When I look at the roster, they have a good job of developing guys. I'll say that about the Boston Celtics. They have a good program to where they develop their guys, because guys like Payne Pritchard waiting for their moment. I forgot the big man's name, the Darskin dude, waited for his moment. Shireman waiting for his moment. They go out there, they play for one another. There's no hidden agendas. They know who's their best player. They know who's their second best player. They know who to get the ball to. Joe Mazzulla is one of those coaches to where if you're not playing up to par, you can sit your ass down on the bench and I'll have somebody else who's hungry for more minutes and actually want to show me that he can play out there. And for them to even be second seed right now, it's tough. We already knew that they was going to be in the playoffs though, but I think second seed is like I wouldn't have guessed this too with the loss of Tatum too, new Achilles here. I give credits to Jalen Brown's play. I think Joe Mazzulla definitely put a battery in Jalen Brown's back too as well, saying that this is your chance to show the league why you are one of them ones. And just for the fact that they're able to be in this position right now, mid All Star break though, and even with a chance to maybe do something special in the postseason, I give credits to Jalen Brown, and I definitely give credits to Joe Mazzulla too for just what he's able to do with this roster. And this is no disrespect to the saying the roster is weak or anything like that, but this is not the Boston Celtics roster that we are accustomed to for the prior years too. So shout out to them. Um Shout out to Joe Mazzulla too as well though. I definitely think he should win that. I think that if anybody else that task of just saying it would just go out there and just try to make bread and butter, I think a lot of coaches would just say go out there willy nilly. I think Joe Mazzulla just having that mindset and just being the crash out that he is, he wants greatness no matter what. Though you could give him a roster full of freaking JV kids, he's gonna make him try to play their hardest and try to get the best out of them too. So yeah, shout out to Joe Mazzulla.
And shout out to Joe.
But I think they probably saying how JB Bickerstaff might have it on lock.
Well deserved. And no, I don't think no one had the Pistons being the number one seed, so I wouldn't be surprised at that.
All right, all right. That would be what, second one? Second or third, maybe. I forgot. Maybe second. But moving on. Am I missing something? Defensive. I think we're down to the All Star.
No, there's the MVP, right?
Yeah, sorry. All right. So MVP, most valuable player. Justin, who has been your most valuable player so far this season? That when it comes to it, you just know that he's special, that he's one of them ones in the league that that he's undeniable. Hello, Just. All right, so just those having technical difficulties. So in the meantime, I'll just give my pick. So when I think about MVP for this season, it's tough. And it's not bother me to say this though, but I'm gonna go with Jalen Brown. I think that Jalen Brown has hit the mark for his initiatives. I think that Jalen Brown, just what he's able to do this season without a Jason Tatum, without everybody, he's been able to just you hear me? Yeah, so I was gonna give my pick first since you was already right. So I was gonna go with Jalen Brown. I just feel that the fact that what he's able to do for the Boston Celtics, being the second seed in the East, putting up a good 30. Let me just double check his facts before I fuck up his numbers. I think it's around 30 points. No, 29, 6 rebounds, four assists, shooting on 48% field goal. I think that's very impressive thus far. When I watch his game, he's very comfortable in his game. He's a game changer for the Boston Celtics alongside Derek White. I think that winning should matter too as well. And the fact that he's played these games, I think there's a 65 game minimum that you have to play in order to get that. And I think a lot of our star players this year might not hit that margin. I look at a guy like Shea Gildas. I don't know when he's coming back. I look at a guy like Jokic. I think he only has one more game to miss before he's disqualified from that too. And there's another player in Wemby that I think they might manage to as well in order to just keep him valuable for the playoffs too. So right now, if looking at this new NBA 65 game rule in order to get these incentives, these accolades, though, I think Jalen Brown fits that mold.
Shout out to Brown.
What do you got?
Um, for me, I'm going with Pat Spencer from the Golden State Warriors.
The GOAT.
I feel like what he's done just in the absence of Stephen Curry, just being that floor general, just trying to keep the offense at a decent pace and getting his teammates involved, being able to knock down that 3-point shot. But most importantly, I like his mustache. I'm a fan of the Pat Spencer mustache. You feel me? So I feel like he should be this year's most valuable player in the NBA. MVP, Pat Spencer. For
Hey,
for all the betters out there, if you could find your betting site, see what odds are at Pat Spencer, put some money down. I'll be trying to give y'all some gems here and there, but hey.
Pat Spencer, MVP. Oh, he got MVP chance.
Oh, you see, the people know. Like, come on, man.
Oh, he got MVP chance last month too. Let's see what's
Hey.
his odds. Searching. As of mid-February, there are no list MVP odds for Golden
Oh,
State.
so they're hating. That's racist. Nah, that's hating, bro.
But as in the starting lineup, averaging 17 points and 6 assists in his last 3 games. Stepping up though. Stepping up.
Exactly. Exactly. Where all he has to do now is lock in after the All-Star break. You feel me? Tell Stephen Curry to move aside, and you're in the Pat Spencer era.
Better than pods. We love to see.
Man, here we go.
Nope. I'm just saying, man. Pat Spencer for MVP.
Nigga, don't take my pick. You said Jalen Brown.
Yeah, but I'm mad at Pat Spencer, bro. He got to play with Brandon Podimski. It's not easy.
I don't got nothing to say about Pep Pajemski. If you do, you got the floor.
No, I already said enough last week. Then I watched it against the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, it wasn't that bad to me. He just has one way to play. He just shoots the ball. Like I've seen worse players than Brandon Pajemski. I'll tell you that right now.
Name.
I mean, name him. Nigga, Kwame Brown.
Talk about right now in the NBA right now.
In today's NBA, I don't know. I'd have to go through the list. Like, but he's not the worst player in the NBA. Bro, look at someone who came in like Anthony Bennett, bro. They didn't couldn't number overall pick who couldn't score for like the first 13 games, bro. There's worse players than Pods, bro. 'Cause I've actually seen Pods have good games. Like,
It's
I
better,
get that his shot selection at times isn't the best, but
bro. That shit is frustrating, bro. I'm watching the Golden State versus San Antonio last night, and I'm just like, bro, you have a chance to take over the game. I feel like a lot of times, bro, he just makes the game more difficult than it has to be. Like just calm down. Like I'll see him take a like he's taking a shot, like he's taking a mid range, contested heavy as fuck. I'm like, nigga, do you work on that shot? One legged step. Do you work on that shot? It'd be frustrating though. But when I watch Pat Spencer, that's why I'm saying I know we're all jokes aside, like feel me, like, but Pat Spencer though, I'm watching it. I'm like, yo, the game is coming natural to him. Like he's not forcing anything. Like he looks solid out there. D'Anthony Melton looks solid out there. Like, mind you, this was a team that was up by like double digits against the San Antonio Spurs. They couldn't buy a bucket at the end of the game, too. So I'm just like, when I look at these Warriors now, it's like, what's gonna happen once Dre, Steph leave? I am so
a rebuild.
bro. I'm so confused at where this team is right now. I think that's one of the most confusing teams in the NBA.
Oh well. Listen, once again, I'd rather have Pods than Gabe Vincent.
I really had to sit there and think if I was gonna disagree with that. No, I'd rather have pods. I'd rather have pods. Let me check out. Matter of fact, let's check out. Since we're here, let's check out Gabe Vincent has been doing with his newfound team.
I already seen the highlights. He's still trash.
So what he played? He played against the Timberwolves. He had a whopping 2 points, 1 for 6, all for 4 3-point shooting. He had four assists and 3 steals. Then they just didn't play the nigga at all.
There you go.
Yeah.
In fact, give him coach of the year.
They didn't play that nigga at all though. But we're closing on the ending segments of the show. Any last takes you want to give before we enter the final stretch of the NBA season? Anything that just been on your mind? Anything you want to say about a specific player, team, coaching, anything like that?
No, everyone just take the Lakers to win the title. LeBron get his fifth ring. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Speaking of man Braun, speculation this is his last season. You know how every time he plays somewhere special, he's like, "Oh, is this his last time?" Do you think we see LeBron hang it up, or you think he gives another go round and goes back home to where it all started?
Well, you asked a rhetorical question because you already know the answer to it. LeBron's not gonna leave without a farewell tour, so we can all just put that aside. And this will be his last year on the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron will go back to Cleveland next season.
Team up with Harden and Donnie.
I don't know if Harden gonna be there. Harden may find a problem. I can't say nothing about James Harden, but I'll say LeBron's going back to Cleveland.
I wouldn't mind that. I definitely wouldn't mind that, especially a team that's ready built for him. I wouldn't mind that. That would be something special to see. My last giveaway take in the East. I'm very disappointed in this one team. I think this was a team that was able to hit strides. And I feel like they've just fallen apart, especially with this new acquisition of Desmond Bain and the Orlando Magics. I think going in these past 2 years, I thought the only thing that was going to restrict them was health. But just watching them play as of recently, they have a hard time finding ways to score the basketball. I think their floor spacing is a mess. I think that Paulo Banchero has regressed. I think that you have to make a big decision this offseason on who you want to keep between Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero because I don't think you can have both on the floor that are non-shooters. I think those are the best with the ball in their hands, attacking the basket, going downhill, facilitating, and taking occasional one or two threes. But I don't think you can have both on the court. I think that just the mixture that they have right now it just doesn't make sense to me. Don't get me wrong; they're a team that could play you good defensively. They have a tall lineup and all things like that. But this season, this offseason for the Orlando Magic, they have a bunch of questions that they gotta answer. They didn't make no moves during the trade deadline, I believe. They didn't dress nothing that they need to. I think that their guard play with Jalen Suggs and Desmond Bain is okay. I'm not gonna say it's the best though, but I think that some given nights Jalen Suggs shows flashes that he is a solid point guard, and Desmond Bain, I think slowly has figured his role on this Magic team though. But when you have a forward and a small forward and a power forward within Paulo and Franz Wagner, who don't necessarily shoots lights out and doesn't do like you know what I'm saying, it's not like the mixture of Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum to one is fire and one is ice. I think that both do similar things though. They're good at what they do, but nothing spectacular to where they can feed off one another. I haven't seen a necessarily a game to where they both dominate the game. I feel like it's always been one or the other to get going. They haven't found that chemistry. So I'm not saying you trade them though, but I think you got to find a solution to where they both could shine. If not, you got to get back something in return from one or the other. And the way he's looking and how Magic fans feel about Paulo, he might be the one to go. And as they trust Franz Wagner, and I'm not saying this like is a bad thing for Paulo, but at the same time, it's just sometimes when the organization switch on you, when the fans switch on you, it's hard to come back from that. It's kind of like a Ben Simmons thing, though. The only difference is Paulo plays and he'll shoot the ball, even though he's not the best 3-point shooter. But I just noticed that with the Orlando Magic organization, though, this was a team that was figuring out though, dealt with a lot of injuries. Plays hard, plays competitive, but at the same time, though, I just feel like something is missing or something is not working.
Well, I 100% disagree. So I have picked the Orlando Magic to go to the NBA Finals this season. I'm still sticking with my pick, and I feel like once again, all they gotta do Because once again, we're in this new time to where if a team is struggling, everyone wants to blow it up, trade this player, trade that player. Not trading Paulo Benker. I'm not trading Franz Wagner. I'm about to go into this All-Star break. Everyone now they should have a team meeting. Everyone needs to address each other and lock in. You have a whole second half of the season to where you're still in the Eastern Conference. The East is still wide open. Everyone needs to hold each other accountable. Get it. Just make sure you stay out of the play-in, right? And then you go into the playoffs, and it's all about matchups. But once again, I'm sick and fucking tired of all these people with all this new NBA of once again a team has a bad month to now trade one of your best player. I'm not gonna turn into that person. I hate that. It's annoying.
You don't want to turn into that person, but I think they're still going to be in a play-in. Right now, they're sitting seventh and eighth. I don't see Philadelphia having that major of a drop off.
But then even look with your own team with the Knicks, bro. They started struggling, right? And then it was quick to just trade Cat, but now they're playing better. Everything isn't just trade somebody. How about holding each other accountable?
There's always something about holding,
Playing harder, bro.
but we talk about fit,
Damn.
fit. So
Here
if
we go with this fit. Here we go.
yeah, because that's what makes the best combination for winning a team that makes sense though. If you're the Orlando Magic, what would you do different in the offense to get both a Franz Wagner and a Paulo Banchero going?
That's to the coach to figure it out.
Yeah, but when you're watching these games, though, like I'm saying, I'm watching these games, they both can't flourish at the same time for a consistent rate of games. So you're saying that's for the coach to figure out, though. That's what I'm saying, though. You have to answer these questions as a GM. You have to answer this question as an organization. How can we make this work? If we can't make this work, we can't get further. We don't know what our full capability as a team if we're still
All
struggling.
right. But you still got a second half of the season. Because then what if they turn it around? Then what are you going to say?
How long does that last?
What do you mean, how long does it last? I'm
How
saying
long
if
does it
they
last?
now end off the season and go on a run, what are you going to say?
They figured it out, but they haven't been able
All
to.
right. So once again, you're going into the All-Star break. Right? These are all basketball players at the end of the day, right? They know their job. You have a meeting, right? You may have to say some things that some people are uncomfortable to say right now. You hold each other accountable. Paulo Banchero just didn't lose his talent. Franz Wagner just didn't just lose his talent. Desmond Bain can play. They got pieces on this team. They gotta lock in. But I'm not just gonna scapegoat people now and just trade everything. No, I'm not doing that. Lock in, man. And I'm staying on this bandwagon and I will give them until the end of the season. And I feel like they will go on a run.
I ain't saying just trade everyone, but you gotta. I say you gotta make another move. I say you gotta find something to make the game a little easier for your two stars. If that's your two stars, there should be something easier. That doesn't be move was supposed to bring a little bit of floor spacing, but there's just something missing. I don't know if it's the bench players you still keeping. Anthony Black has been a spotlight for this team though. I'll
I
give him.
think I think the Knicks have something missing.
What do you think they are missing?
I don't know, but when I watch them, I feel like they should be better than what they are. At the beginning of the season, I heard the Knicks was about to dominate and run through the East, and that's not happening. So I think they're missing something.
I think to answer your question, they was missing that grit, and this is when Jose comes into play. I think you need a fighter for your team. I think you need somebody that's willing to, get dirty, do the dirty work. I feel like that's what they was missing though. These are a lot. These are relatively a lot of nice guys in the Knicks. There's no real feisty player. There's no real crash out. There's no. I mean, they play as a team. They play a good brand of basketball. You're never going to see somebody in the Knicks get into a fight, get into a confrontation. You're not going to see a Jalen. You're never see Jalen Brunson get into. He might get mad sometimes, get heated, but one of them people that's willing to just take the fine, like Isaiah Stewart, to a lesser degree, Patrick Beverly. You need one of those people, those pesky players that. I think that's what they got with Jose Alvarado. I see they signed Jeremy Sohan. I don't know how valuable it's going to be to this team though. But yeah. I think a lot of teams do need that type of players. And if I'm looking right now, the way the East is set up, it's not a freelance anymore though. I see Cleveland picking up winners of five. Toronto's right there in the mix. I don't know how well they go into these games played, but Philly Philly's real hit or miss. Some weeks you could think Philly could, be all right when Embiid gets back. Then the moment Embiid misses 2 games is I don't know. Miami, I just don't know with this team. Some days I just don't know. I'm not gonna say some days are good, some days are bad. But overall, the landscape of the East is still up for grabs too. But right now, if you have this Boston Celtics team against this Magic team, I don't know, man. Styles win fight, and I think right now this
I
Boston
got
Celtics.
Magic in 6.
Uh, hey, man, that's your pick. I respect it. And just to dabble in a little, let's go into the West side of things. Any West takes that you want to take?
Already gave you my West take. You want to hear it again?
Oh, the Lakers winning.
Yeah, nigga, you deaf?
Cool, cool, cool. I still got the Nuggets coming out the West, but right now though, it's really anybody's ball game though. Like it's always been for years. But what the fuck? Let's see. The
Yeah,
Lakers.
I just what when it comes to me and just viewing things, like I just can't. I don't do this regular season 5 game win streak 10. I gotta see when we get into the grit, and I need to see these matchups and who you get in the playoffs. I think that's what these all these games right now. Like I don't think it means that much. Like you game plan, you try to see where you have advantages against teams and things of that nature. But this is gonna come down to playoff matchups.
So seeding.
Again. Yeah, seeding. Like who is Houston gonna play in the first round? Who will Denver play in the first round? Who OKC play in the first round? The Timberwolves, the Lakers. Like this is going to come down to seeding.
So to a certain extent, the regular season does matter.
I mean, if you're talking about seeding at the end of the year, I guess.
No, no, I was just asking. But shit. Any hot takes for the West?
Um, um, you want to hear about Bronny?
All right, so that's gonna do it for today's episode of It's Debatable. Once again, I'm your host Sebastian, and here with co-host Justin. Tune into this All Star Weekend. Truthfully, I don't give a fuck about All Star Weekend anymore, man. It has lost its glitz and glamour.
Well, I will say one thing. Well, I think I said it already. I still don't understand why Damian Lillard is in a 3-point contest. Is he cleared to play?
Man, listen, we're doing shit that don't make sense, brother. We're doing shit that don't make sense, bro. Because if we want to dive back into this, all right, first of all, I recant that. We can jump right into this too, and we'll make this our last topic, though. Because nothing makes sense about the All Star break. Why the fuck is Jared McCain in a fucking celebrity 3-point contest? The nigga's an NBA player. Why the I'm not gonna do it, bro. I'm not gonna raise my blood pressure because Adam Silver is incompetent at making a simple all-star game, man. We got all these fucking teams now. Nigga, East versus West.
Nah, man, just gotta be white versus black. Yeah, I've been hearing the rumblings. We gotta try something fresh, bro.
So where does the mixed players stand?
White.
But they're half black.
No, no, no. I thought you was meaning like some international players, like mix. Like who's mix? Like, give me who's mix? Who?
Isn't Paulo mixed?
But Paula's not in the game.
I'm just saying though, if we have a mixed player that's like, does
I
he
so then
switch his
I
jersey
so
at
then
halftime?
nah. He got a ref. Like it's either you're white or black, brother. But if you are international, you go automatically to the white. Unless you're Joel Embiid, then you
That's
will go
bro.
to the black.
East versus West, bro. Then we got niggas that just don't. The dunk contest lost all its flair, man. We don't got no high names. We're getting like fucking rookies and shit like that.
This era is soft.
You guys suck. Anthony Edwards, you suck. Zion, you suck.
Kobe Bryant is rolling over in his grave watching these damn All-Star games, man.
Brother,
It's sickening.
you know what? If I'm Adam Silver, you know what I do? If you're an all-star, you got to compete in at least one event. Either a dunk contest or a three-point contest. I don't give a fuck no more, man. Why the fuck going, bro? No disrespect to Carter Bryant, though. Kid from Arizona, plays on the Spurs, though.
Who?
No disrespect to him. I actually like his game. I think he's going to be a good talent. But nobody's going to All-Star Weekend to see him, brother. Nobody's going to All-Star Weekend. I just don't. Bro, why is it that hard, bro, to get? You know what I'm saying? The three-point contest is the three-point contest. We're going to get players for the three-point contest. But the dunk contest used to have this flair, pizzazz, man. You know where the dunk contest went wrong? When D Wade screwed Aaron Gordon out of winning that shit.
I disagree.
That's where everything went wrong. The
No, because
last good
you're
All-Star.
saying because someone had an opinion, that's why the All-Star game is messed up.
Yes, that's why the dunk contest is messed
But
up.
that's why they're judges. So that's a terrible take. If
No,
he's judging and having his own opinion, how did he mess up the All-Star game?
he fucked it up, man. He fucked it up, man.
So
Aaron
then, he was just supposed to say what you wanted him to say.
Gordon. No, he was supposed to say the right.
Yes, because then why can't he
He
have
was
his
supposed to give
opinion?
Aaron Gordon a 10, bro. Aaron Gordon got robbed out of that. I'm sick of this shit, bro. When was the last good dunk contest? You know what? I'm not saying that. Mac McClung definitely did put on the show.
Man, fuck Mac McClung. It was 2016, bro. Mac McClung is not saving no dunk contest. Yeah. It
We
was
need the
2016.
stars. The stars, man.
Right. And to end the show, this goes right back to the main topic. See how it all came around. These people don't care. You talking about the face of the NBA? Where Anthony Edwards at? Where's these people that could be in the dunk contest, bro?
Where's Zion, man? You'll
Right.
be dunking in some Mariah Mills, nigga. Dunk the fucking ball in the All-Star break, bitch ass nigga.
Nah, but I bet you if you put a cheeseburger on top of the backboard, he'll do it.
I
No,
bet you
I'm
if you
sorry.
put nah, fuck that.
I apologize.
Let's go.
That was
Nah, I
rude.
bet you if you put a fucking OnlyFans model on top of that, he would have fucking dunked that bitch. Sick of these niggas, bro. I'm literally sick of these niggas, bro. We're the high flyers, bro. We're the showstoppers, man. Zach LaVine, get your whole ass back in the dunk contest. You ain't got nothing better to do, nigga. You're in Sacramento. Y'all niggas the worst team in the league. You have nothing.
Nah, don't do that to Zach
Get
Levine.
the fuck out of here, bro.
Don't do
Yes,
that.
nothing better to do.
He did his due diligence for the dunk contest.
Do it
Do not
again.
do that.
You do the league a service.
No,
You're
don't
not-
do that.
Nah, fuck that, bro. I don't want to hear that. Oh, fuck that,
No.
bro. He has nothing better to do. He's not good for nothing. What is Zach LaVine
No.
playing for? What is he playing for? He's on the worst team in the league.
No.
So no.
Zach Levine did his job already. You had mad other players, like we can say. Like you just jump back to Zach Levine, bro. Stop it, bro.
Yeah,
He
bro. Listen, I'm
he
fine.
gave us one of the best dunkers of all time. He is
Do it
fine.
again. Do it again.
No, because we're getting the same people. That's not gonna change anything.
Listen, I'd rather the same people than what we get nowadays.
No,
Bro,
I
they gave us
understand that,
hey,
but if we're gonna change
they give us
anything,
Jericho.
it gotta be the stars.
They gave us Jericho Sims. And that nigga gave himself a 10 for just dunking the ball regular.
Who's Jericho Sims?
My point exactly. My point exactly. My point exactly. My fucking point exactly, man. Give us something new. Jalen Johnson, you like to dunk the ball. You like to do all these windmills and shit. Have you participated in the dunk contest?
You said Jalen Johnson, yeah, but see, if his name was in it, let's say you took out this, you said Carl Bryant put him in, you was gonna have the same take.
Bro, Keishad Johnson, Jace Richardson, Jackson Hayes.
Hold on, I don't do any Lakers slander. Jackson Hayes will win the dunk contest. No,
I guarantee you so. This shit is about to
uh,
be so fucking ass, man.
well, either way, this might be. Well, I might just have it playing in the background. I'm not watching no damn All Star game, bro.
This shit, man. Fuck that. But once again, though, All-Star Weekend is here. Make sure y'all tune in to watch the games. Y'all tell us how you feel about All-Star Weekend, though. I feel like it's gonna be another year on where we say how to make the All-Star game better. And can we get less ads? Last year, I feel like every time I looked up, there was a timeout. Kevin fucking Hart was talking about shit that didn't even make fucking sense. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So you're hating on Kevin Hart.
No, I'm hating on the product.
What did Kevin Hart ever do to you?
He talked too damn much during the All-Star game, man. We don't need all these celebrities talking and shit like that. Play the fucking game, man. Let's see some dunks, man. Some windmills, man. Some half-court threes, man. Let's see some one-on-one matchup. Ant-Man versus whoever the fuck it is, man. Nah, come here.
Hey man, Ant-Man versus Bronny.
You and this Bronny notion. It's because he's been playing good. It's because he had that 12 points. And
Bro, my fault. I'm just throwing names out there.
I'm
My
saying,
fault.
it's
So you're
like
a hater. You're a Bronny hater.
this is the third episode where we talk about the NBA where you just keep bringing up Bronny. I swear to God, bro.
I don't. My fault. If I'm doing my fault, I didn't know I was doing that. I just my fault. Mentioning players. My fault. Damn.
Bro, no, you're not mentioning players. You're just mentioning Bronny, bro. I promise you, bro. This is the third episode in a row. Bronny, like, and you say it just like that. So how about Bronny? Like, you
Oh,
want to say
my fault. Like, damn. No, I don't. My fault. My fault. End the show then. I was just saying. You said Anthony Edwards. I just said Bronny. Like, what's going on?
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with it, brother. It's just what I noticed.
You want to talk about Bryce?
He's not even playing.
Zuri?
Nope.
Gloria?
Nah, if it's not basketball related, I don't want to talk about the James family. Much respect to them, though. I just don't feel about being people's family, but you know. But that's good to end the show, though. Appreciate y'all for watching. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. On the road to 500 subs, though. Let's get there and let's keep pushing the agenda. Of It's Debatable. Anybody that want to come up here, yap it up, debate, to say how you feel about anything, you're more than welcome to come on this platform. This platform is open to everybody. Yeah. So we out. 4 letters, 1 word.
Also, shout out to Sue Surf coming home next week.
Jersey.
The wave, he's officially gonna be back. And I forgot to say free Geechee Gotti. Damn. If you don't know.